Assalamu alaikum and very good morning, everyone. I am really blessed to be able to conduct this webinar with you today. So today we are going to talk about creating your engaging lessons with Nearpod. Before we start, may I ask all the participants to mute the microphone, please? Okay. So today we have two presenters. I myself is Associate Professor Dr. Farrah Yusop from EDAC and Faculty of Education, University of Malaya, and my co-presenter, Ms. Nadirah Harith Fadzilah from University of Malaya as well. Let me introduce Ms. Nadirah. Ms. Nadirah is a school biology teacher with 10 years of experience giving talks, seminars, and also training other teachers to use a lot of technologies for teaching and learning. So we have invited her today to talk and give demonstrations about Nearpod. We are going to have 3 parts in this presentation today. So part 1 will be about a little bit about engagement. What is the meaning of engagement? And how we can do engagement with a lot of tools. And one of it is Nearpod. The second part of the seminar will be the Nearpod workshop, which will be conducted by Ms. Nadirah. And it will be a demonstration part, which means that you can also follow or do it on your own. So in this part 2 session, we hope that if you can, to have 2 devices with you. The first one will be the laptop where you can work on your own Nearpod while you listen to our presentation. And the second one, the one to connect you with the webinar. Okay. If you can't, that's also fine. If you just only have one device, which is your laptop, you can have 2 windows open. Okay, one is for the Google Meet, the other one is for Nearpod. Or if you don't like to do that, you just want to enjoy, listen and watch, that's fine. You can also do that. It's up to you. Okay, thank you. And the third part is a Q&A. If you have any questions regarding the topic of our discussion today, please feel free to chat or to type in the chat feature, or you can also unmute the microphone and speak. We'll try to answer your question. Okay, so a little bit about online teaching and learning. We know that during this COVID-19 pandemic, the needs and also the interest for online teaching and learning has aroused a lot of teachers and also educators like us from kindergarten to school and also universities. Even at work, people are looking for teaching tools to help them teach and learning tools to help the students learn. So I think that the challenge now is no longer to move our traditional classroom, the face-to-face classroom that we always know, to online environment. That what I call as phase 1. But now people are going to phase 2, which is to engage students to learn in the online environment. Okay. Now, what is engagement? Okay, we always talk about students must be active in online learning. They have to be engaged. So I like this definition by Chen, Gunya, and Co. 2008. They say that engagement is the degree to which learners are involved with their educational activities. So notice the 3 words that I bold here. I highlighted here. First, they must be the learners. So it is a learner focus, and engagement must focus on the learners. Second, it's about the learners doing something or involved with something. And the third one, what is the something? The educational activities. So it's about learners getting involved with the activities. That means that in a synchronous learning environment, it's not about the teachers talking, like what I'm doing now. It should not be a one-way communication. If possible, you have to make it 2-way communication where you can talk as a teacher and let the students also do something. Okay, that is called the engagement. So I just wanted to point out that to design an engaging learning experience, 3 elements need to be there. The first one is students. Second is content, and the third is teacher. Okay, when we talk about engage learning experience, we need to give the students the focus. That's one thing, and allow the students to communicate or interact or engage with the content, and second with the teacher and also their peers. Okay, so focus on the students mean three things. Okay, engagement with the content, engagement with the teacher, and engagement with peer students. So this is where the instructional strategies come in. For example, active learning, collaborative learning, project-based learning, and so on. Okay, so while they're engaging with teachers, meaning that the students are engaged or are interacting meaningfully with the teachers. So in the teaching and learning environment, the students have the chance to talk to the teacher and get meaningful feedback, for example. And the teacher needs to be there in online experience. It's not, when you talk about online teaching and learning experience, it's not just, putting up the materials online and let the students navigate through the content that we put online. The teacher must be there. So the teacher presence is also important. You can have virtual office hour. You can have a synchronous meeting like this once in a while. So to make your presence there, you should be able to talk to them or answer the email, for example. Now, what do we mean by interacting with the content? It means that we give the students challenging task to do, okay, cognitively challenging. It means that the contents that we give them is not just looking into, for example, YouTube videos. It must have something in the video that they need to do. For example, to answer several questions, to do a poll, and many other things. Perhaps if there is a interest, we can do a puzzle session where we can guide you how you can segment your YouTube videos and put some kind of activities there. Okay, so that your students are experiencing the videos, not just watching it. Okay. Okay. Now there are many tools that we can use online to help engaging lessons. For first-time online teacher or novice, we try to find the most easiest one. Okay, and I find that Nearpod is the easiest one for me when I first started. So what is Nearpod? It is a presentation tool that allows you to create a lesson or many other lessons. You can present with Nearpod, and interestingly, it engages your audience at the same time. So it is a combination of presentation slide, web-based content, for example, YouTube videos, websites, and also activities, meaning that you can set up an activities like short and formative assessment once you do the Nearpod. So I think it is easy to use Nearpod if you want to do synchronous or live lesson, or you can also set the Nearpod that you have created as a self-paced learning tool. For example, you have several tutorial and you have some kind of formative assessment in the Nearpod, and you set it as self-paced learning tool, ask them to revise on their own, so they can keep on looking into the Nearpod that you have created and make it a tool for them to learn better. They can do it individually or with their peers. Now, what I like most about Nearpod is that I, as a presenter, will have control over the student's screen. Okay, it means that if you give them, okay, later we will experience this with Ms. Nadirah. If you give them a code to the Nearpod that you have created, they cannot run away from the presentation. You control the devices, the iPad, the tablet, the screen that they are looking at. So that's a little bit an advantage for you as an instructor, because you have their attention. Okay, but of course they can still use other applications if they want. But at least for the presentation time, for the synchronous session, you have their attention. Secondly, you can engage students in the lesson, meaning that you can ask them to do something. We they can go to field trip, they can collaborate for activities, sharing resources, and so on. You can also gamify the lesson. Okay, you will see how we can do it later. And also, interestingly, you can track the students' progress. So if you are familiar with Kahoot, Kahoot is like a quiz base. You should be able to use Nearpod easily because it has the same features, almost the same features. So if you set the presentation to be self-paced learning where you are not in control of what they are doing, you can leave your Nearpod on, and the next morning, okay, you can just look into the dashboard and see what are the students' progress when they're working on the Nearpod. Now, that's the end of part one, which is engagement. I will now turn to Miss Nadirah. Nadirah, are you ready?
Okay.
Nadirah?
Okay, hi everyone. Assalamualaikum. Okay, shall we start?
Yeah, please.
All right. So let me show you my screen first.
Sorry, Miss Nadirah. I just wanted to highlight here that if you have any questions, you can always ask. You don't have to wait until the Q&A session. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, once again, Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. How are you today? I hope you had your breakfast. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you today is how to set up a Neoport lesson, and at the same time we will experience Neoport as a student as we move towards this lesson. So from the screen right now, I'm showing you my internet browser such as Google Chrome, or you can use Mozilla Firefox or Internet Explorer. So uh, in order to use Neoport, it we can be in two ways. First, you can access Neoport via your internet browser such as Google Chrome, or if you are using a smartphone or a tablet such as iPad, you can also install the Nearpod app from the Play Store or from the App Store. So, the one that I'm showing you today is how to use Nearpod or how to access Nearpod using internet browser such as Google Chrome. So as I move towards each step of this lesson, I would like you to try the same steps on your internet browser as well. So at the same time, you can open a new tab in your Google Chrome. In the address bar of your Google Chrome, you can type nearpod.com. Okay, so since I've logged in previous tab, so it immediately opens up to my home or my dashboard in Nearpod. So I will show you another one if you haven't signed up for Nearpod. The browser will show you this page. Okay, this page. Up until now, do you have any questions?
Not for now.
Okay. Anyone? I think up until now is very, very easy. So, okay, now we are already in nearpod.com. So, as a student, we will join a lesson through this space. For today's lesson, the class code is, I'll show you today's lesson. So for today's lesson, the class code is YADZF. 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 Okay. So in my screen right now, I'm showing you two different window. Okay, two different window. Okay, the left window is my view as a teacher in Nearpod, where I share my lesson code to everyone. The view on the right window is the view of a student or teacher who wanted to log in or sign up into their Nearpod account. So as a student, click join a lesson and enter the code for today's class, YADZF. The same method can also be used when you have already installed Nearpod app in your smartphone. In your smartphone, there is an immediate space where you can submit or enter the class code here. So you join a lesson. When you join a lesson, this is the student's view. Okay. Up until now, do you have any problems accessing the lesson? The first slide is a video showing how to log in to Neoport. So on the right side of my screen is student's view. On the left side of the screen is teacher's view. From the teacher's view, we can see on top left of the screen is the current class code. And for teachers, you have the ability to move backwards or forward. For the students, they cannot move backward and forward because this is a teacher-led lesson. So when the teacher moves forward, then the student's slide will move forward. Okay, so now I'm showing you the first slide. The first slide is a video showing how to log into Neoport as a teacher. You can observe these steps and try it up for signing up Neoport account as a teacher. Okay, does anyone have a problem to sign up to Neoport account as a teacher? So this is a method for people who are using only one device for today, which is your laptop. So what I did is I opened two different windows so that I can see a teacher view and a student's view. You can also try to open teacher view if for today's lesson. After you sign up, this is the view that you will see. This is your dashboard. In your other device or in your other window, you can see a student's view for today's lesson, which the code is this one, YADZF. So from a teacher's view, I can see who are my students for today. This view is only accessible for teacher. And then as you can see, as I move backwards, the student's view also change. So, okay, that is the first step. I assume all of you have signed up for Neoport. Okay, now, when you have signed up for Neoport, there are a few features here that you can see. These are all the list of lessons that you have or you will prepare. And on the left side of the screen are Nearpod lesson library, where you can see or you can search suitable lessons from other teachers that you can adapt or assimilate in your teaching. So for today's lesson, we are going to create our own lesson. So we start with lesson in Nearpod. So this is your blank slate. The first step of starting any presentation in Neoport, usually we will start with adding a content. So first we start with click add slide, add content, and add slide. As you can see, the slide is similar to a very simple version of PowerPoint. On the right side, we can change the different styles of our slide. From here, the top here is the title of the slide, and from here you can click this plus button where you can add either text, video, image, or GIFs. Most of it are searchable in YouTube, or you can upload a video from your computer. You can also change the background of your slide using Google Images. For example, I want to put in a jungle image. So what we can see here, the background has changed. We can also change the layout, different layout. For example, you want to put only pictures on this slide. Okay. And then when you have finished editing your slide, you can click preview in order to see what your student will see after you have finished editing the slide. Okay. So this is in your lesson, Neoport lesson, I've placed a video on how to add slide. As a teacher, when you add in video element, which I will show you the step-by-step tutorial how to add video in your Neoport lesson. In your video, you have a choice either to make the video accessible, can be played by anyone at any time during your lesson, or you can also set for the video to be only played when you press play. It is a teacher control video stream. For example, I've set here, even though my teacher account is playing the video, the student account didn't play the video because the student didn't press play. So this is an element for student control for video slide. Okay. So what if you already have your PowerPoint slides and you don't have the time to make new slides in Nearpod? So there is an option for that. It is the option for uploading files. So what we can do is we click upload files. So we can choose our PowerPoint files based on where we stored the files. We can take it from Google Drive or our Dropbox or OneDrive. For this example, I'm choosing select local file because it's in my computer. So the okay, so so from here you can choose which PowerPoint that you want to upload and upload onto your Nearpod, or you can also click and drop your PowerPoint files. For example, I have one here, biodiversity PowerPoint. Click and drop your PowerPoint slide into your Nearpod lesson. In the lesson, I've also included step-by-step video on how to upload PowerPoint slide. Because I know it will take some time for Neoport to upload PowerPoint slide.
Nad,
Yes.
do you know what is the maximum limit for the size file if you want to upload it?
Most of the time the size limit is 20 megabyte. So if your slide include videos, it will take a lot more storage. So my advice is to edit your PowerPoint slides, edit out all the videos and all the audio files that you might have. If the videos are from YouTube, there is an option where you can include YouTube videos in your Neopod lessons, which I will show you later on. If the videos are on your laptop, is your personal video, I advise for you to upload the video in your YouTube as well. For your information, in YouTube, we have an option to make our videos unlisted. So the link for our YouTube videos can only be accessible if we share it. If we don't share it, most of the public will not know and will not view the video that we have uploaded.
All right.
So this is the video for how to upload PowerPoint. So for this particular example, I'm showing you how to select local file. Previously, I've shown you how to click and drop. Okay. So as you can see, when the slides are uploaded, you can start as the slides are uploading. You can also edit other slides in your Neopod lesson. So this is an example when I've uploaded the slides. These are the slides, and as the slides are processing, I can also add different slides or different activities between the slides. Okay, this one takes a long time. It's okay. Okay, now, for example, this is a slide that I've uploaded. Okay, so I want to edit this slide. Unfortunately, if we uploaded a PowerPoint slide, it will be uploaded as image. You see here, we cannot edit the text in the slide. However, one of the upside of Neopod is we can include audio recording for our slide. For example, for this particular slide, I want to include audio recording. So make sure our microphone is ready or our laptop is ready to do any kind of audio recording. And then we click to start recording, and Neopod will start recording until we click pause. We play. If we are satisfied with the recording, then we click save. Save and exit. Alright. So I think in your lesson, oh sorry, this one is for activity. This one. Okay. For this. Alright. So that is for adding audio files into your slide. Okay. The next one is how to include the first collaborative activity that you can include in Neoport, which is collaborate. It is basically like Padlet. Oh, sorry, this is poll. Okay, poll. We start with poll first. Okay. Okay, so this sorry, I intend to teach how to include poll first. Okay, this is how to insert poll lesson, poll activity, right? And from teacher's view, this is teacher's view. Wait. This is teacher's view.
Night. Is it okay if you minimize the student view screen first so we
Okay.
can see clearer the teacher's view? Thanks.
Okay, that is the step by step. As you can see, first we click add activity, then we click poll, then we edit the poll questions as needed, and I also include add reference in the form of image, and okay, image, and then I also add timer. Alright, so from a teacher's view, okay, you can start activity. So this is teacher's view and this is student's view.
So if I answer one of the questions, so and I submit, will you get my answer there?
Yeah. For example, here I already have one submission.
Okay.
So I assume others have submitted as well. It takes time for Neoport to refresh. Okay. So as a teacher, we can share the results of poll to our students. Alright. And then okay, this video is a step-by-step tutorial for adding audio files to your slide. So before this, I shown you how to include audio recording. This is how to include audio files from your computer. So as you can see, as it has finished uploading, you can press play and the music or the audio will start to play. Then Okay, this is the result from adding audio to the slide just now, right?
Mm.
Okay. So after we have finished uploading the PowerPoint, perhaps we want to include activities between the slides. So, okay. So for example, after teaching about biology conservation, I would like to know students' idea on why we should conserve biology. So I would like to have a sort of collaborative discussion. This is a step-by-step tutorial on how to add collaborate. So add activity, click collaborate, edit the prompt, edit the questions that we want to ask the students to give feedback to. Can also add pictures, or we can also add videos in our collaborative activity. And we can also choose different styles for our collaborative board. And okay, this is the result of okay. For this session, I don't want to do that, so I can click no. But as a teacher, I can still delete comments posted by students as they have uploaded it.
Um, maybe we should try
Okay.
post something and see whether it comes in your teacher screen. Yeah. Mm. What should I say?
As you can see, from a student's point of view, the feedback from other students is anonymous. So we cannot
Yeah.
see who posted them. So in a way, we can we can give our students a bit of confidence, since we know that their friends don't know who posted this feedback.
Can
But
can can I can the teacher know? Mean it can it be not anonymous?
for teachers, yes, we can see
Okay.
who posted each feedback.
So you can see who. All right. I'll try to like one of your comments here. There. So I click on the love icon for our children's future. Did everybody see that too?
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's like a Facebook where you do the like icon, right?
Same. And then as a teacher, we have the option to share. For example, we have finished collaborative activity. We have so many ideas here, and we want to share it for students to take it as part of their notes. So we have the ability to share the notes. We can share it in the form of email, or we can just copy the link and give it to our students so that our students can refer to it at their own pace or at their own time. Okay. So okay. So the next part is I would like to show you. For example, I have after the collaborative activity, I will teach about conservation and so on and so forth. Now I want to assess my students' understanding. So, okay. This is a step-by-step how to add multiple choice question. So the steps are almost similar. Add slide, add activity, click quiz, and edit the questions as needed. For example, for this particular activity, for this particular slide, I'm copying the questions I already have in my slides. Because the drawback of Neoport is we cannot copy from the slides already uploaded in Neoport, since it uploaded our PowerPoint as images. So we have to open our PowerPoint back to copy text materials from our PowerPoint. So okay, so you can see here. If we have more answers, we just click add answer and we add more answers here. And don't forget, at the left side here, we click on which is the correct answer. And then we can click the green button here for adding more question. As we add more question and answers. Okay, we can also edit the title of our quiz here, and we can also quiz. So we have to consider how many questions that we put inside to decide the time taken for this particular quiz. Okay. So since you have already seen the answer, the next part should be easy for you.
So this is the quiz that we just made just now, right?
And then this is especially true for Neoport lessons for pre-kindergarten or students that don't have the ability to read. There is a narration feature here where Neoport will narrate the example. So students can listen to the questions and answers and choose the right answer.
Which is also good for disabled students, perhaps, yeah? Who can't really read, but they can listen to it.
Okay, so after you submitted your answer, so I can see who have answer, who haven't answer, and then as a teacher, I have the ability to share the percentage. I can share the correct answer after the in the next slide, but the percentage of how many students got correct or wrong is in the student report, which I will show you later on. So this is for personal sharing for all students lah. Alright, so okay, now after the quiz, I move forward towards the next slide to teach. And then what if I wanted to add or I want to assess using open-ended questions? Okay, so this is a step-by-step tutorial on how to add open-ended question. Similar to the steps before this, add slide, add activity, open-ended questions, and then edit the questions. Same method as before. Since the question is already in my slide, I just copy it and paste it in my Nearpod open-ended prompt. However, as you can see here, I adjusted the question from write down to state or provide an explanation because there is a feature here enable student audio recordings. So if students don't want to write their answers, they prefer to state their answers. We can use this feature for students to give feedback, different form of feedback. Right. So for this question, I asked the students to think about criteria that we use to justify or to choose which species to conserve. Since the criteria is a lot, so I decided to add a reference for the students. Since this is an open-ended question, I give 10 minutes time for students to finish the questions. And then I also provide a stimulus or a video reference to guide students to answer the questions, and I also enable audio recording. So we can see in the next slide. You can. So as a teacher, we click start activity, and okay, this is the student's view. So the Neoport will ask for us to allow the use of microphone so that we can record audio feedback.
That means the students can use the microphone to use their voice instead of writing it down. Okay. Interesting. My question is, right? So I try to click on the video reference. So once I click it, and then I want to go back to the open-ended question, how do I do that? Just click on the back button, is it?
I think so because testing 1 2 3. So when I play it, so if I want to submit a different answer, I just delete the first one and make a new recording. And then in case the student forget about the criteria, since they cannot move backwards, to previous slide, I've also included a video, or we can also include images to help students to recall previous slides.
I see. There's a X button there. I didn't get it on my screen. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Ng Luai asks, with the free account, will the use of audio answers eat up the allocated memory space? I'm not sure. Are you asking about teachers' memory space or students' memory space? But personally, I haven't since the audio recording feedback is a very new feature, so I haven't received my student feedback using from audio recording. So I'm not I cannot answer your question. I don't have the knowledge whether it allocated memory space or not. But it's a good question. I will also ask the Neoport team after this.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So most of you have answered in the form of written answer. So if if there are answers that I wanted to share. So I can click share, and then when I share the answer, it will be anonymous. So students will not know whose answer was that, and we can discuss on the answer if it's correct or not, and so on and so forth. Same as audio recording. I can also share the audio recording as well. Okay. So since we have already at the end of this particular lesson, so I wanted to know students' feedback in terms of their reflection on the learning experience during for this particular lesson. So I included a Google form. This is a step-by-step tutorial on how to add web content outside of Neoport. For example, Google form or websites from relevant websites that suitable for your particular lesson. So for example, this is when I include Google form. When we prepare a Google form, we will obtain the link for that particular Google form. So we just copy the link here, and we paste the link into the web content URL here and click save. As you can see in the next slide, so since this is a Google form and I wanted to know which student have give their feedback, so I need them to sign in. So after they sign in, they can immediately answer the Google form. As you can see, this Google form can be accessed directly in Nearpod. No need to open a new tab and then open the Google form link and then come back to Nearpod. So it's a bit easier for students and for teachers as well. Right. So this is the teacher's view. All right. Okay. So if any of you have already throughout our session today, if any of you have also tried at the same time preparing your own lesson, you can share your lesson code here so that we can try each other's ideas. For the time being, if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat or you can unmute your microphone and ask directly.
I think that we can also use the board here to share reflections instead of just using the Google form, right? So we can give students the reflection question and ask them to click on the answer box so they can use images or videos to post, and we can then go through the reflections with the whole class because it is anonymous, right? It should be a safe environment for them to share reflections. Okay. Is that the end of our presentation, Nat?
Just two final things, sharing lessons and student report.
Okay.
Okay.
So we now move to the second, sorry, the second part of the second part presentation. Okay.
So for example, I have, this is the lesson that we did just now. So we have the option to, whatever we do, we click save changes first. And then if we have already allocated a specific time for our students to access the lessons, we click live lesson, for example, for today's lesson. So when we click live lesson, the Neoport will generate a class code. So we either share this class code or we share a link to the class. We click copy and we put it in our students' WhatsApp group or Telegram or in the Spectrum. Okay, that is for live lesson. But if we want to consider that our students might want to do it, might want to do it in their own time, so we can also opt for students-based lesson. So for students-based lesson, we click student-based. The method is the same. It will generate a code, or we can copy a link. So the main difference in student-based lesson is students have the ability to move forward and backwards for the Nearpod lesson slides, number one. Number two, for collaborate, if you put collaborate feature in there, you need to make slight changes in your account settings so that students can provide feedback in collaborate activity. If you don't do that, students cannot answer or cannot provide feedback in collaborate, because collaborate is actually a feature for live lesson. So I will show you how in our Neoport account. Okay, next to our name here is a gear icon for settings. So when we click that, click advanced, and then here are a few features that we can enable or disable. For collaborate, here, enable collaborate for student-based lesson. The default mode is off, then we have to click on to enable collaborate for student-based lesson, so that, for example, if Ali is the first one to enter the student-based lesson, so he put in his ideas and Abu is the second one, so Abu can see Ali's feedback on the collaborate board. If we don't enable that feature, none of the students can provide feedback in the collaborative board. Okay, and that is for types of lesson in Neoport. And lastly, for students report. So reports, for example, okay, I have a session for today's session, for example. So this is the report that we can see. There is a percentage in here, and there is also percentage in terms of participation. This is the drawback of Neoport. We have to remind our students to provide their full name or maybe their metric number when they join the session, so that we can assess them better. And after this we can download it in terms of PDF, or we can share it to our colleagues via email, or our students via email. Right, that is all for today. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have one more question. We can also, I'll go for Prof. Hanafi's first. Prof. Hanafi asks, to sign up for Neoport, which one is better, with Google or with Office 365?
For me personally, Office 365 depends on your needs. If most of your materials are in Google Drive, then better to use Google account. But if most of your material is in OneDrive, better use Office 365 account. And I would like to add a few unique features in Neoport, such as if you see at activity, there is a feature for Sway, Microsoft Sway and Fitgrid. Both of it requires Office 365 accounts. So if you have the affinity to use Microsoft Suite or Flipgrid, then Office 365 is better.
I also add to the answer. Students in has their 365 account. So if you want to make it official, perhaps after this you want to show it in your KPI, or you want to put it in the spectrum and make it an official class. Perhaps having the 365 account is also good if you want to sign up for that. And ask the students to log in using their 365 account. Okay. Prof, is that okay? Okay. My question, Nad, we can see that on the very left side of the navigation bar, if you are in the teacher's mode, there are already some of lessons for us. I can see English lessons and so on. What are those?
These are lessons provided by the Neoport team, but they are usually based on US curriculum or UK curriculum. So we can browse the slide and browse the lesson, and we can duplicate the slides into our personal account so that we can use it for our own students.
Maybe if it's okay with everyone, can we try one? Can we go for one Neoport library?
Okay, for example, I click here English learners. So we can click add to my library.
So these are ready-made content, yeah?
Yeah, ready-made content.
Okay. And I can see that it's from kindergarten to 12, K to 12 level, and can be related to their standards. Huh?
And when it has been downloaded in our library, it will show here.
Okay.
So we can access it. We can access it and edit it as we show fit.
As ours, meaning that we can duplicate one of the slides that they have and put it in our own slides, right? Okay. I was just sharing my experience. Some of these lessons, the ready-made lessons, are paid lessons, but during the COVID-19, they made everything is free. So if you're teaching perhaps math, science, or even languages where there are a lot of mathematical calculations, you can now take the opportunity and use it for your own slides before they log it. Okay. Do we have any other question from the audience? Okay. If not, I will just wrap up this session. I would like to thank everyone for your participation in this Nearpod lesson. So we both hope that this Nearpod lesson is something beneficial to you. In my experience, when I try to make it engage, I go to Nearpod to help me out. I think it is quite easy for me to do. Perhaps if you have time, try to do it on your own and see whether it works or not. What I always do is I do my PowerPoint as usual in my computer, and then I upload it to Nearpod. And in between the slides that I have pre-prepared, I add in the poll, the activities, assessments, so that when I save it and I run it, I give the code to the students, they can work on their own. Or I can do it while I'm teaching online. So with that, I hope that you also have time to give us some feedback, what you think about this session. Is it helpful, or what can we do to improve more? Or if you have any other interest in any other tools, perhaps we can do that as well. We are thinking of Edpuzzle after this. So if you're interested, do let us know. Please scan the QR code on your screen now, or just click on the link provided. Thank you so much, and have a nice day, everyone. Stay safe. Bye. Back to you, Umu. Umu? Thank you. Okay.
Hello, Farrah.
Okay.
We'll just let it stream for 10 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everyone. So Nad and I and Umu will stay in case anything come out. Maybe for 2 or 3 minutes, yeah, Nad and Umu. We'll see if the participants have anything. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Helena. Thank you, Dr. Vijayan, Prof. Hanafi, Prof. Li Luan, everyone else. Thank you.